36.
I keep saying 36 because, excuse me, I wasn't able to finish my 36, but 36 on February 14th next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Everett, Sim, and Jerry for organizing this. Thank you for some of the nice things that were said and have been written. Greg wrote something that my mom's always talking about, that the print, a woman knows more about newspapers than you think. It's like, why is the print getting smaller and smaller? And I said, Mom, I go, that's how the Father saves money. And I encouraged her to continue the subscription to the paper. Because you know what? 36 years, how can I complain? A company that put up with me for 36 years, you know? It's just that unfortunately I got a little old. I can't thank you guys enough for doing this, because all I ever considered myself was a privileged observer. A witness to some more memorable individual and team performances. I mean, I remember when Chris Knapp, by the way, nobody from Bound Brook is here. You know, it's funny, I'm going to go off track a little bit. Bound Brook, how many people are here? None. I mean, yeah, well, we got it. Current. But that, as some of you might know, my ties to Bound Brook have been, what did W.C. Fields say? Greatly exaggerated. There's nobody left. That's why we talk about the ghosts.
School of choice.
That's the point, right? But I'll let you laugh a little bit. All I ever considered really was, you know, the idea that that I was an observer that got to write about what these people did in front of me. That's all. That's all I did. The reason I just loved it. I mean, I loved it before I got there. My uncle was Talmadge Avenue boy. Went to the University of Kentucky. Graduated honors 1940. He's the Frezza we don't know about. I always joke about, but he was somebody I wanted to be like. I mean, though, but he covered some of the early Super Bowls, which I thought was pretty cool. And he went to Buffalo and other places. But I always thought that was very, very cool, you know? Something that I would have to do. As my father said on more than one occasion, lucky you don't have to work for a living. But I tell you what, I've been able to cover some pretty neat stuff for being a reporter for a local paper. I was in the hallway in the spring of 1988 when Jim Schoenfeld called official Don Kaharski a fat pig in a loss to Boston. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Some of the NHL was in his... I mean, those NHL players are the best. I think a lot of people will agree they're the best interview. And then I watched a couple days later when the referees had a wildcat strike. This is Mother's Day, 1988. They just left because Schoenfeld was able to coach the game. And they brought out a bunch of off-ice officials, one of them from Lebanon, of all places. He was the time judge. And I did a sidebar on him. I just happened to be at Yankee Stadium. John Bellis, one of our retired Courier guys, we covered the Mets and Yankees when they were home. And when somebody wasn't able to get there, maybe a vacation day, I had to go. And I just happened to be at the stadium one day when George decided to make one of his countless managerial firings. I guess he knew I was going to cover the game. That's when our deadline was 4 a.m. I don't know if a lot of people know, but we were one of the latest deadline. We went from the latest deadline to the earliest. There was another time I covered the Mets and the Pirates, and I had to go downstairs in the press room, and I forgot something, of course I did. And I had to take the elevator doors open, and here's Dick Nixon. plain as day, with a couple security service guys, Secret Service guys. I just said, "Hey, Frezza, how are you?" I couldn't help myself. I think the Mets won that day too. But Dick Nixon was, as you know, he lived, I guess, up in Bergen County when he was retired. I said, holy crap, that was President Nixon. My father voted him in '60, by the way. One of the favorite things, I'm going to wrap up. One of the favorite things I got to do in my 36 years, I'm not going to let Gannett get away with that one. I got to cover the World Cup in '94. And the players, I have not stopped yelling at my mother. Your grandfather wouldn't let anybody speak Italian in the house. They all had to speak English. Oh my God, did that kill me when they came up here. I didn't know the language at all. But one day, when they were here, I got the invitation. I was going to go with the great Baggio to Effingers and watch him purchase some hunting equipment. Baggio did not speak English well. I went down here with Frank Giasso. I don't think Frank went with us, but since I lived in Bound Brook, not one person acknowledged Roberto Baggio. Not one. This is Bound Brook, not Short Hills now. Roberto Baggio, the #1 player on earth, is in Bound Brook. With his ponytail, nothing. But I got a complaint that day from a parent from Bound Brook. You're not doing enough about Bound Brook. You gotta be kidding me! Are you kidding me? Anyway, Baggio at Effingers. I don't think the people at Effingers knew. I didn't even say anything because the guy this is Roberto Baggio, okay? The Italian guy who was the media liaison was the head soccer coach at St. John's. And he said, "Harry, I'd rather you not say anything." And we left. And I said, not one person said anything to him. And he goes, "That's the way he likes it." I'll never forget that. They lost, by the way, that year. They lost to Brazil, I think. Yeah, it was a penalty kick, I guess, that he missed. But my true love was high school athletics. Oh boy. Geez, I remember, being at my parents' house and hearing the Bound Brook High Band. Man, I got tortured at St. Joe's School, which I wrote about, the bullying column. I got more comments on that than anything I ever wrote. I called Everett one night and I go, "You know what? I got something I want to do." And Paul Grisella, like that, our managing editor, I got more that just happened last year. We wrote that thing. I got more emails on that. I wanted to go to Bound Brook High School so bad. This is a different Bound Brook. I don't want to make it out to seem like, some Carlisle, Pennsylvania or something. But I took a lot of abuse at Catholic school, 1-8. Oh my Lord, I don't know why my parents did it, but they did. It took a while, thank God for track and field. Took a beating early on, but when I was in the 5th or 6th grade, I would hear the Bound Brook High School band up there practicing. That's when we had 100 people in the band. And it was such a thrill. Friday night lights, the temporary lights. They played a couple night games. And Bound Brook is a different community. And that's why Greg mentioned in the story, the great story he did, when I say the ghosts, because nobody's left. The ghosts are my uncle, my great uncles, my family. And that's when I say the ghosts, that's what I'm talking about. I don't get it, but it was really special, and I said, man, that's pretty cool. But I got involved in track and field. God, thank God I didn't stay out for football. I would have gotten killed. I wasn't big enough, or fast enough, or talented enough. But it was that feeling, they talk about the shore. But the old Mountain Valley, that was something. Then I go to Bernard's now, and I go to Branchburg, Somerville High now. And, I got to keep saying that because let's face it. But, biggest day of the year, and so many people know that. Bound Brook in the Ville. Thanksgiving Day. And I've tried to get that. They never beat them 3 straight years, I might add. But anyway, that was my true love. I carried that over. It was just plain awesome. And the thing that really surprised me is I'm really surprised that I've had this much of an impact on people. Because again, like I said, I was just an observer, man. I was just happy. I remember I hugged Chris Knapp, the Bound Brook heavyweight. Boy, did I never lived that down.
A little more than hug him. Like jumped into the guy.
Yeah, but what they don't say is that I was one of his uncle's best friends. That is, Chris turns around after beating the #1 seeded wrestler in his state. Turns around, and there I am. Okay. Boy, Mike Rodanoff in the Courier Post. Oh, my own. Boy, he never let me live that down.
He's a homer anyway.
Woo! I loved every minute of it, or at least nearly every minute, and there were certainly a lot of minutes in all those years. I was blessed to work in the area I grew up in, so I was fortunate to have a bit of an advantage coming in. I knew the schools, and everybody talks about this Bound Brook thing. I don't think there's two communities that have changed more than any others. Montgomery and the Brook. Two communities that, geez, my mother and father, God bless her, I'm helping my parents. Somebody said to me, "What are you doing now?" I'm busy, man. But the community has changed, had drastically changed. And I feel like as a historian, it's like, well, you don't remember. Then I catch myself, okay, I'm sounding old. Wasn't that great about Ridge the other day? And Mr. MacArthur and Liam, they know what their friends in the Valley were at one time. And that means a lot. I used to hear from my father and my uncles, and geez, how many times I hear my grandfather talk about Paul Robeson in Somerville. Oh my God. I have a broken nose. What are the questions I could ask him now? What was really special was the feeling of working for the Courier, working with my great colleagues. I can name them all, and I won't do it. Too many to mention. Somebody like Jerry, I had to mention him. Best thing, Bill Price, one of the best, man. When Jerry came over in '99, he gave me a second boost. I had a lot of things going on in my life, and not all of them were great. But you guys, the younger people, gave me a second wind. I'm just happy that you guys, I was able to meet everybody, I'm not going to pull a John Boehner. I consider this a team, and being fortunate to have some great teammates who had the passion I felt inspired to match. Greg, Jerry, Sim and Brian, and everybody, really. When you come into our office, I thought our office was the best. We were the shtickmeisters, What did the guy say? That guy Mark Spivey said, it's all shtick, no substance. We took offense to that because we did have substance, but it's fun, man. We cover kids. We cover kids. This is, I'm a little concerned when somebody from Somerville High School I met about 2 weeks ago says to me, remember that game in '84? Please, can I talk about my son? I was like, hey, well, what are you doing now? You still collecting welfare? But, we move on. I just hope that, we move ahead. And that's the point. And there's been some great people come out of nowhere. And that's a great, when people say to you, geez, I'm a municipal judge, and I remember you writing about that game that we played against Greenbrook in 81. I hope to do something soon in the future so I can continue doing what I love so much. But really, it'll never be the same. I don't see myself working for another paper for 36 years, do you? Yeah, really.
Give it a try.
I'm not sad, I'm not bitter. I just have to apologize for growing a little bit old. But I'll use what I've learned from all of you. And I'm fortunate to have gotten to know all of you on this wonderful, wonderful adventure.